for the first time in 10 years, a Grand Slam final will decide who is #1. And it happened 10 years ago in the French Open when then Chris Evert, #2, beat Martina Navratilova in the final. And Evert then moved to the #1 spot. For the 95 French Open Championship, Graf to serve. In her 6 previous matches here on the Terre Battue in this championship, Graf in trouble with a second serve. She's won less than half of her points on the second serve as she lost that last one. First serve, another matter.
Well, very important for Steffi Graf to get a high percentage of first serves in, because it puts F A Sanchez-Vicario on the defensive right away. And if Arantxa can just pop that ball up, Steffi can go in for the kill. And that's what Steffi wants to see. But this first game, you know, it's really important to get in as many balls as possible, because they're both nervous, obviously, and they're both not warm yet. You know, they're still trying to feel each other out to see what side's going to be the weaker side. So it's a crucial game. Which was evident the way Arantxa was moving, because she's probably one of the fastest, if not the fastest, mover on the court, and she was really on the defensive there. Steffi whipping that forehand with topspin. Her best shot.
Very good service game. All but one first serves in for Steffi Graf. We're underway in Paris. Sanchez-Vicario told us that the longer the points, the better chance she feels she'll have against Graf. Look at her profile. Barcelona, the home, #1 in February this year. She has 22 titles, 3 of which are majors. Steffi Graf, she'll celebrate her birthday next week and would like to be #1 again, although that's seemingly less important for her since she's been #1 so often. Unbeaten this year, 90 career titles, and she's going for her 16th Grand Slam. Long.
And Arantxa, to me, still looks nervous because she is not moving as well as she normally can. She has to shake those nerves aside, put them aside. Normally she would have gotten this shot and put it in the corner for a winner, but it's just a little sluggish right now.
15 all. Graf opening this match with terrific pace and depth on her baseline shots.
And consistency. Arantxa is the one that's made the more errors so far.
They both have been ill during this fortnight. Arantxa last weekend very sick to her stomach, and one was wondering whether she was going to make it through her match. She fell behind Smashnova and was able to rally and win. And Graf has been bothered by a sinus infection.
And that's really what Arantxa Sanchez-Vicario is hoping for, to see some errors, to see some sloppy shots from Steffi Graf. She's very confident Steffi will be making some errors this match.
In fact, as you look at Arantxa, Steffi told us yesterday that some of her fellow competitors are kidding her that she's allergic to terre battue. That's why she's always sick every French Open.
Well, Dick, you know, I think the reason why Steffi Graf seems to get sick at Grand Slam tournaments, a lot of these players, is because there's a very fine line between being in great shape and completely being burned out, you know, overdoing it. Very fine line. And Steffi perhaps overdoes it, tries to train too hard, gets a little bit run down.
So a little forehand slice from Arantxa. It's 1-all. Number 1 against number 2, and Graf was number 1 until early February, and then they have traded until the present, from May 15th to this date. Sanchez-Vicario number 1. A little extra on that forehand. Speaking of number 1, we asked Graf about the importance of regaining that, and she kind of looked quizzically at me and said, I've been number 1 over 200 weeks.
She did. She raised her eyebrow and she said, how many weeks have I been number 1? And we told her, well, 282. She said, actually, the title is much more important to me at this point, because the titles go down in the history books.
That's the shot that fails her in the tough moments, Graf, that slice backhand. Martina Navratilova, Steffi Graf's second in terms of most weeks at number 1, and Chris, you 262 weeks for third spot. Oh, a wonderful defensive play by Arantxa, and then she earns the point.
And this is when she's at her best, when she's defensive or when she's counter-punching the ball. She likes that pace. She doesn't like to generate it herself, but she likes to hit off a hard ball.
Fastball hitter. Arantxa Sanchez-Vicario with the first opportunity to break. Two chances. Double fault, and the defending French Open champion, Arantxa Sanchez-Vicario, has the early lead.
Mademoiselle Sanchez-Vicario.
Kathy Ortega working on the left eye of Steffi Graf. perhaps one of the particles from the clay in that eye. That happened to me a couple of years ago here, and I was in for 2 days in excruciating pain. And apparently she's okay. To the net.
Well, Steffi doesn't want to get into any long rallies with Arantxa. She's a 4 to 6 shot player. She likes to make her move in the first really 6 shots that she hits. She doesn't have the patience, so she decided to come in and for a winning volley. And that is the forehand that, in my mind, will determine this match.
She can't afford to make loose errors off the forehand.
Right, and the winners have to be a higher number than the losers.
30-15. Looking closely, it appeared high on the left thigh that there was some bandage or perhaps one of those girdles that men and women wear to protect an injury.
Well, she also told us she wears one on her lower back, too, because she has to keep it warm. It hasn't really hurt her this tournament, but it's been a nagging injury this whole year. But I think it's just changing surfaces. I mean, there are 4 or 5 different surfaces that you play on. Really takes its toll on your body.
Well, we talked to Steffi, and she said, and at the time seemed serious when she said, with 1 week's practice before Paris because of her injuries, she said, I just thought I'd win 2 or 3 and then get ready for Wimbledon. She said, I'm shocked that I made it to the finals. Did you believe that?
I didn't believe it for 1 minute. I think she was just trying to take the pressure off herself.
Arantxa Sanchez-Vicario holds, and it's 3-1 for the defending champion.
You know, Dick, this is the difference between Steffi Graf now and Steffi Graf 5 years ago when she was dominating. She was #1. She won the Grand Slam of tennis, the Olympics, and she never had a doubt in her mind. Every time she walked down the court, she was going to win that match. Now there is a doubt in her mind. She doesn't have the confidence. She's lost a few matches. She's been injured. It's been a tough year for her.
Yet tough as it is, she's 24-0.
And in the same breath, I still pick her to win this match because of her weapons, because she can hurt Arantxa. Arantxa cannot hurt Steffi.
All, Bud.
Well, Dick, your baseball experience is a great slider. You were absolutely right. Kathy Ortega, the WTA trainer, says clay in the eye. Here's mud in your eye, sort of thing at Roland Garros, and she merely put the liquid in and cleaned it out, says everything's fine.
All at 1-3 here in the opening set. The defensive counter-punching of Arantxa Sanchez-Vicario. That's her kind of point.
And Arantxa really picking on Steffi's backhand. That's her weaker side. Steffi's just defensively getting the ball back with a slice backhand and running every ball down. Very much like Michael Chang in the men's. She just scampers to each ball. And this is the story right now. 15 unforced errors. Steffi Graf, most of them on her forehand side. And a smart play from Arantxa to, when she's in trouble, she's out of position, she just throws the ball up, but this was not deep enough. Steffi was inside the court.
Game to Graf. 3-2. Sanchez-Vicario in the lead. Arantxa Sanchez-Vicario defeated Mary Pierce. Mary Pierce beaten earlier in this championship and has gone back to the States to Mayo Clinic and bothered by various injuries.
She's actually getting tested to determine really the extent of her injury and if it is going to have a long-term effect. She's not in great shape. But I talked to her, Dick, and she's really looking forward to still playing Wimbledon, taking a few days off and getting over on the grass next week. That would be her first time at Wimbledon.
That would be terrific. There have been various injuries, and this clay and the sliding, and we've had a very wet 2 weeks here, has taken its toll. Andre Agassi being one of those, and Steffi Graf, we mentioned the high thigh injury.
There's Steffi's leg. She has it wrapped pretty tightly. Sometimes when you're sliding on the clay and you stop suddenly, it can really hurt you.
Oh, what a return.
She doesn't really look like she's affected by it, though. She's still moving great. Her core coverage is superb. And once again, she likes to end the point. The first 4 to 6 shots, usually.
Caught the line.
Oof.
It's good. And 2 break points for Graf. Oh, no, it's overruled then, 30 all, and chair umpire Patrick Varel comes out to check the mark. Look good from here. But 30 all is the call. What a big call. Oh, always tough to tell. At best, it would have hit the outside of the line.
Ooh.
That ball long gives Graf her first chance to break back.
Steffi was really lucky. She just sort of blocked that serve. Didn't really mean to get Arantxa up to the net. It was not a great return serve, but Arantxa was completely surprised. Not a comfort zone for Arantxa up at the net.
Steffi Graf is even, 3-all.
And Arantxa still not feeling completely comfortable up at the net, as you see with this backhand, but she is #1 in the world in doubles right now.
That's a good point. First since Martina Navratilova,
right.
#1 singles and doubles. But good fortune really smiled on Graf in that last game. She got that check return that led to a point, Arantxa coming to the net, and then the net core that set up that last point. Second double fault. Graf had 22 double faults coming into the match. That's more than 3.5 per match, whereas Arantxa only 6, just 1 per match average.
That's the shot that Arantxa really wants to use against Steffi. The two-handed roll backhand where she gets Steffi out of the court. Not a lot of power, but a good angle. Steffi's off the court, and even if she would have gotten that back, Arantxa would have the whole court to put the next shot into. Oof.
On the center line, it painted it. First ace. 30-all. 3-all, 30-all, opening set for the French title.
And both players not playing their best tennis yet. The level isn't as high as it could be, but you have to figure the nerves into this. #1 ranking. A lot of pressure down there.
Game de Graf. Vicario and Steffi Graf trading breaks on serve. Arantxa told us that she felt that even though the records might belie it, her best chances come on clay.
Well, I think that maybe it helps me a little bit more, you know, because she probably prefers more on hard court, and if I beat her there, now we came into the clay where the points are longer, you have to be more patient, so it can help a little bit more, you know, on my side. But also I think that she also plays very well, but I'm looking forward, you know, to play her.
She speaks Italian, German, of course Catalan, her native tongue, and English, and has her first double fault.
But what Arantxa forgot to say is that Arantxa is a great clay court player, and she's won 11 of the 20 tournaments that she's won have been on clay. Practicing with her two brothers, Emilio and Javier, couldn't have hurt much either.
Low 30. The family Arantxa Sanchez-Vicario, father Emilio and mother Marissa. It was after she won the French Open in '89 that she took her mother's name as well to honor her. Not just Arantxa Sanchez that she had used to that point, but Sanchez-Vicario.
when Arantxa is at her best, is when she's consistent, but she's still playing aggressive from the baseline. This was a surprising shot here, a slice backhand from Arantxa, approach shot, very rare sight. Took Steffi by surprise. Oof.
On the line.
You know, I think that Arantxa really does need to start playing a little more aggressive. Last year when she was playing her best tennis, she was playing better as the challenger. She was playing more aggressively. Of course, there's no pressure on her, but since she's been #1, she's playing more defensive tennis, like she's protecting her territory.
Crucial spot here now with 2 break points for Graf. It's wide, and Steffi Graf with the lead. 5-3, a chance to serve for the set, although first a check of the mark by Patrick Verel. Out is the call. So Arantxa broken the last 2 service games, and now Graf serves for the set. Steffi Graf from 3-1 down has won the last 4 games. Two lines, the last 2 shots by Graf.
15-0.
Well, she's really relaxed now, and she's letting her shots flow.
Mother Heidi, boyfriend of Steffi on the left.
Michael Bartels, race car driver.
Formula 1 driver.
$30.
2 points from the set. Steffi Graf.
The weaker side is Steffi Graf once again. That ball didn't hardly made the net at all.
Another error off that slice backhand. Many feel she should use her topspin backhand more. She has the shot and did execute it earlier matches, but not often today.
Well, under pressure, she still goes for that slice backhand. She doesn't have confidence in that shot, in the topspin shot yet, but...
Premier service.
First serve.
This is where Steffi has a tendency to get tight when she has a big lead. We've seen this so many times before, especially against Arantxa. Last year, she had 2 matches where she was up match point. U.S. Open, she had a big lead and she lost.
And now a chance for Arantxa to get back in the set. Great return, sets up the break, and they're back on serve, 5-4. The sky's darker and some light rain falling. It is almost the national symbol of France this last 2 weeks, the parapluie. And the umbrellas are well in evidence now. Not raining hard enough to hold play. 4-5, Sanchez-Vicario with her second break of Graf serve to get back in this opening set. Patrick Varel calling this crowd of 16,500 to order.
Well, Steffi Graf certainly gave her that opening in the last game. She was up 5-3. She made a few errors. And against Arantxa, you just cannot give her any opening. She takes advantage of these opportunities so well. And you know she's confident when she comes into the net.
Little sneak approach works for Arantxa. 15 love. Break of serve hasn't happened often. First look to the right, Steffi Graf losing her serve only 10 times, but twice now in this opening set. So she's held better than any of the women in the championship, but Arantxa's the best at breaking serve.
And what's interesting is that Steffi's strength, which is her serve, really feeds into Arantxa's strength, which is her return to serve.
Longest point of the match, and it hits the baseline.
And Arantxa's hoping that the ball's being called out, but it's not going to be. I think Arantxa questions calls more than any other player on the tour.
And the rain has increased, and there's going to be a delay in play. The weather arriving from the west, and from our location we can see light skies in that direction, so perhaps just a brief shower. And when play continues, Graf 2 points from the set. Arantxa serving 4-5, 15-30. Don't wander too far. We'll take you to New York and an NBC Prudential update right after this pause for a commercial break. Critical spot here, 15-30. Graf just 2 points from the opening set.
S'il vous plaît.
And Steffi, I feel, really has a little bit of an advantage because she always gets off to a quick start.
Miss hit the overhead. 30 all.
That was definitely a mishit, but Steffi was still the aggressor at that point. Arantxa really is known to play her way into a match.
That's a big miss for Graf. That was for 2 set points.
Arantxa continues to play a little bit too defensively. Not much depth to her shots.
30-40.
She's hitting both those shots in the middle of the court. Steffi Graf's territory.
First set point.
S'il vous plaît. Merci.
Yes, aggressive play from Arantxa. We haven't seen that the first set, and that's what Gabrielle Erpe, her coach, means when he says you've got to play aggressively from the baseline and take the initiative, dominate the points.
And she set that up beautifully, going backhand, 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 and surprised Graf with that forehand.
Always moving in, inside the baseline, taking the ball on the rise. Again, just trying to penetrate that backhand side.
Just inside the sideline, and Graf backhand into the net. Point for 5-all.
But it's this backhand volley. Look at that touch. Just feathered the ball. She's going to need that volley to play with Martina Navratilova at Wimbledon. Big doubles team there.
That's right. Martina will not be in the singles, but she'll have Graf as her partner in doubles. Something to look forward to. It's long.
Avantage, Mademoiselle Sanchez-Vicario.
It's long, and Arantxa Sanchez-Vicario, saving a breaker, holds at 5-all.
And I think we're going to see a more aggressive Arantxa Sanchez-Vicario right now.
At the French, Vicario, the champion in '89, and then beat Graf in the semis of '91. Graf won in '92 in the semifinals. This is their fourth meeting on the red clay of Paris.
Oh, second time she's used that approach shot. She has a lot of variety off that backhand side. She just doesn't hit with two hands. She can also chip it, slice it. A lot of topspin, hit it flat. It's her best side.
Hit the line. Well, we talked about patterns at the start of our telecast today from Paris, Chris, and one of the patterns has been Graf early leads, doesn't hold on to it against Sanchez-Vicario. But here's Arantxa in this first set all the way.
Perhaps Steffi will learn something from her match with Conchita Martinez up set 4-1. Let that slip a little bit.
Game to Graf. 6-5 on serve, opening set. Only 16 in 1988 when we saw her on court one. Her opponent in the final year of her pro career, our colleague Chris Evert. Chris, in fairness to her, had a bad heel, and the fans rooting for an upset, and they got what they cheered for as young Arantxa at 16, half the age of her partner, with a big upset. She said that to beat her idol at that time, she told us that she knew then that she might be good someday, and then a year later she won the French Open title, and she said, gee, I am good, maybe I can be #1 someday.
No,
and #1 happened this year.
She drove me crazy that match, and I knew she was going to be good because she had the patience as well as the topspin. Very effective on this court.
But she said watching her idol at age 11, just to finish that story, she said, I was 11 when I remember watching the French Open, and Chris Evert was the best on clay, and she was my idol. And then to finally beat her really was the start, the foundation of what has become a terrific career. What a shot by Graf.
A great drop shot, but look what happens here. Steffi just picks a spot and reflexes it back. Quick hands.
0-30.
Big point for that shot. She's thrilled.
Shot of the match, and it takes Graf 2 points from the set.
But both players really starting to use the whole court. You know, now we're seeing them come up to the net. They're using the drop shot. They're using the lob.
Graf paints another line, and with it, 2 set points.
Arantxa just retrieving these balls so well. The point would have been over by now if Steffi was playing anyone else. Finally hit the line there. Steffi has to hit 2 or 3 more winning shots against Arantxa.
Steffi had a set point at 4-5, 30-40, and now her second. 7-5. Graf owns the opening set.